Hi, everyone. Thanks for watching. We're glad you're here. My guest this morning is Kate Culver, and I'll read her bio here. And Kate, I'm very glad you're here with me. And we've had an enjoyable few minutes here beforehand visiting. And Kate Culver is an artist, singer, energy healer, and guide for people who feel it's too late or who've lost their way. Through her Be Still sessions and doodling workshops, she helps people reconnect with their true divine essence. She's learned to dance to the rhythm of her own beat and follow her dreams. And Kate believes everyone has an authentic voice and deserves to be heard. She finds much joy in releasing healing through her Be Still sessions, which are an intuitive energy experience that releases a deep sense of self love and purpose to the receiver. And her online doodling workshops help tap in to your inner self and release your dreams, help those come to the surface. Kate believes it's never too late, that each of us are miracles. And Kate, I think I still saw that there's a download of art. If they go to your workshop, there's like a coloring page. Is that still available?
It's not, because I've closed down that website,
Oh,
but
okay.
if there is a link on my Facebook to connect with the doodling workshop.
Okay, great. I will take the old out just for anyone. Kate had been a guest of mine on the podcast a couple years ago, and so I had found her old information and plugged in. And so anyway, I will correct my error and take off the old and put in your Facebook link so people could
Beautiful.
find your work there.
Beautiful. Thank you.
So,
Nice to be here.
well, good. I'm glad you're here too. And so Kate, I just leave the floor, give you the floor here to visit if you want to tell about your journey and how you get where you are or how you came to do the work you're doing, and take it from however you want to. And we'll just have a fun conversation along the way.
Sweet. Well, it is that journey of remembering, taking off the layers of lies and unbelief and fear, and remembering, I think, for all of us, the magnificence that is within each one of us. And one of the ways that was extremely helpful for me was to doodle. There was a season in my life where I was doodling nonstop. I mean, I can show you books that are just filled with doodles. And I did not realize that, in fact, I was rewiring my brain and loosening my thought patterns. That's how I would describe it. And it's sort of like when you hold tight to things about good and bad, right or wrong, there's no room for the spirit to flow. And it was just that loosening of those thoughts and allowing the spirit to flow through my life story and see things as beautiful and necessary. And I think this is Earth School. We all have different lessons to learn. And we don't need to compare or compete or look at other people's curriculum, but just follow our own heart. And that's been my journey. And right now on that journey, I am releasing. I think when I was a child, there was two things I wanted to be when I grew up. I'm still growing up. Was to sing and to be a mom. And then I recently have released my music songs that I'd written, and basically they're story of my healing journey and remembering. And I realized really what I want to do is help the dreamers remember the dreams inside their own hearts. That's what's really exciting for me. And so that's something I'm working on now is music. We do go live every 2 weeks on my Facebook page, Instagram page. So if you're interested, please come and join us. And I'm working on editing. When my father's been gone for 29 years and my mother 9 years, and her last request was that we would edit and publish my father's book. So he had this stack, this book, and I've been going through that and editing it. And what I've done is I've put a daughter response. So his writing is very much about his journey of remembering, his journey of awakening. He was a student of Carl Jung, and so dealing with some shadow, which is kind of the human experience. We all have that. And so I've taken his book, and then I've done on each. So they're like little short stories of this person remembering the struggle of remembering, and the joy in it. So I have done a daughter response. So at some point, I would love to read one to you. It's I knew that you would like it because it's called The Man Who Talked to Trees. My father was an actor, so it was him coming out of, and the struggle of knowing that he could go back to being an actor, but there was a call inside of him, and so he was misunderstood in many ways, but it's his beautiful journey. So
That
those
sounds
are some
great.
of the things that I'm up to.
Yeah, yeah. So how did you come to, have you always doodled, or when did you start? Or
Always, I've always created. I've always had my hands going. That was a way for me to cope with some deep, um, dark emotions and thoughts that I walked through. So I, when I was maybe in my late teens, early 20s, I was diagnosed with OCD, which people always laugh about and say, "Oh, I'm so OCD." But when you're in that, caught in that web, it feels like terror. And for me, when I would draw, doodle, it would just release. I would feel just my thoughts would completely calm, and I would just be able to step into a place where it felt like flow, like it was just calm, peaceful. And yeah, it's fascinating to me, and I hold very loosely to labels now. I just think it was part of my journey. I don't think it's a life sentence. I sort of just allow spirit to flow through even that. And so that was a thing for me. I would go off, I would doodle. I I remember there was a season where I would make little people, um, little, and turn them into pins and things. I found something on Marketplace and I sent it to my daughter and said, "Oh, remember when I was making these all the time?" And there were these little Fimo heads on them. And creating just really helped me to calm, to be at peace, and to remember who I was.
that's lovely. Um, I didn't doodle. I don't remember doodling at all when I was a kid, but I started doodling as an adult, um, when my kids were grown, seems like, or maybe it was in college taking notes or something, during boring lectures or things, or boring meetings as an adult when I was working. And it was
Mhm.
like, it was just the way I just, my hands just did whatever it wanted to. And I remember one lady looked over at my work and said, "Oh, that's beautiful." And I thought,
Mhm.
"Oh, I'm just, I'm just doodling."
Right?
Yeah, she said, "Well, my doodles don't look like that."
Oh,
But
lovely.
it
Well, I
just,
think it's really releasing the artist within, because it's interesting. Some of my pieces, which I don't have any of that style close by, I've changed to a different style, which I can show you this,
yes,
which
please.
is this is done with watercolor. Can you see it all right? Or no?
Yes, yes. There's a little bit of glare on top,
There's
but
a little bit of glare, but that's a new style that I'm doing with watercolor. Hang on, I'll give
okay.
you another one. But I mean, some of the doodles, I framed them. They are beautiful, and I've had art shows with them. And I can, there's another one, which is just this
Yeah,
one's
nice.
watercolor.
Colorful. Yes.
Yes, thank you. That is something that so yes, and I just felt like that released me as an artist. I remember going to art class and somebody was trying to teach us how to, uh, she brought in flowers and was like, okay, we're going to sit and draw the flowers. And it was like, I would feel it inside and I would just express the flowers the way I saw them. And she took me aside and I said, I don't want to draw like a flower. And she took me aside and she said to me, you're an artist and you don't have to come back. Like you've got your own unique style, which was birthed from doodling. Just and
Hmm.
I believe that inside each one of us is this creative artist, however you want to refer to it, that just wants to express and release what is inside. So there you go.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I
Well, I
did.
totally agree. I've been enjoying, I have a little granddaughter, and when she comes to stay with us, a lot of times she wants to paint. And I just love it to paint. And I
Nice.
just do my doodling with a brush and things.
Right. Right.
And of course, to me, it's nothing. It's just fun. And don't give me, I kind of like you, I guess. Don't give me um, something I have to color in, or don't give me a what do you call it? What do you call it that you paint on, right? Your canvas.
Right.
Don't give me a canvas
Hmm.
that's little and I have to put in lots and lots of details. Give me something big that I can just go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. It's very healing,
It is. It's very healing.
right? Yes.
And to
And
me, I wouldn't frame my work or anything, but my granddaughter says, "Oh, that's so pretty." And
nice.
so I thought, well, if she thinks it's pretty, I'm going to put it up on my wall.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And reclaim that.
Yeah.
Reclaim the artist within.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's been good. That
Mhm.
being the child, not just the artist within, right, or the
Mhm.
singer within, but the child within.
Mhm. 100%.
And it goes along with, this is a sidetrack, but like getting your mind out of the focus it's in of what you need to do for the day or whatever.
Mhm.
Again, it goes back to when my granddaughter is here, it's to try to get my mind just to play, just
Right.
to enjoy what we're playing in and
Mhm.
play with her. Don't just watch, don't just sit
Mhm.
there, but
Nice.
do the play with
Right,
her.
and really be in that moment. It's
Yes.
interesting because I always my birthday's in January. Your birthday's in January too.
February. Or we're
In
just a week
February.
apart. Yeah, a
That's
week
right.
apart. Yeah.
Okay. So, and I always get so excited in that month of January. Like I go back to just being a kid and I'm like,
Mm.
"Oh, it's very fascinating the power that we have to create our reality." Because I come into January and I'm going, "This is my month." And it's just like like I am like childlike the entire month. And I
That's awesome.
always have this most magical, beautiful month. And I've realized that it's me that's creating it because, I am going back to being a child and I'm going back to being playful. And people are like, it's your birthday. What do you're a year older. And I'm like, oh, it's my birthday. And, I have lists of things like things that make it special for me.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I'm like, oh, yes, like I have cupcakes and then I have flowers that match the cupcakes. And, anyways, I feel like a child and I realize, oh my God. And that is available to all of us all the time. And we all go through. We all go through difficulties and struggles, but
Absolutely.
it's like
Absolutely.
a lot of it is, or all of it is our creation and we're creating all the time, right? So we're manifesting things all the time. And I just think that January, I could probably pull that through right for the entire 12 months.
Yes, yeah, that should be the goal, really. I kind of do the same thing, only like I don't do like the full month of February. I start the middle of January to the middle of February. So I'm planning what I'm going to do. So I celebrate for a week
Nice.
or
Right?
two or more. So I go coffee with one friend or dinner with another or go
Right.
for a walk here, just doing all so
Absolutely.
many of the things that I just want to do then.
Right. And things that you love to do.
And I hadn't thought of it as, being creative or playful. It was just, well, we have to have a birthday. I'm just going to be fun. Why can't we have fun on our
Right.
birthdays? And my boys had, when they were growing up, it was like, well, my boys have fun. I'm going to have fun.
Right. Right.
So
I like that. I like that. It's beautiful. It's a good way to live, and it's a good way to live all 12 months.
it is. I'm
Even
going to
through
try that
even
too,
through
Kate.
the hurt.
Let's
Sorry.
hold each other accountable here.
Right.
We're going to do this all year. The one thing I have found that has helped my creativity and playfulness, it's because those are energies of themselves, right? The words that we use bring up a certain energy, right, of
Mhm.
creativity or playfulness. And those you could say in many ways, because energy is light and light is spirit, that those energies are within us and that they're spirits, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And so I say, I learned this from, I think I heard Raymond Grace. He's a dowser here in the States.
Mhm.
And he has said, um, like every day you should give thanks to the spirit of miracles. So I started with the spirit of miracles, and then I went to um, the giving thanks to the spirits of love, joy, wonder, curiosity. Um, I'm losing my train of thought. Anyway, there's five um, of the primary high vibration feelings that the
Mm.
universe has. So when you tap into and connect with nature around you, you're feeling like a sum total of these five major high vibration energies: love, joy, um, gratitude, curiosity, wonder, and
I
now I'll
think you did
forget,
5.
awe.
Oh,
And
beautiful.
so those
Oh.
five, right? A combination of those. And so then I started giving thanks to those every morning. Thank you within me for those spirits within me of, and
Mm.
list. And then I added more. And then I added money, wealth, abundance, success, and prosperity. And then I added playfulness and creativity.
Mm.
Anyway,
Nice.
sidetrack. I'm taking away from you talking.
No, that's nice. That's beautiful.
But there's things we can do like that to help tap into those energies within us and bring them out. And that's what your work is all about, right?
Mhm.
That's what
Absolutely.
you're wanting, you're trying
Mhm.
to aim for in yourself and in others.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
Mhm.
beautiful. That just feels really good, doesn't it?
It does feel really
Just
good. It
oh,
does feel really good. Do you want me to read you one of my father's stories?
yes, the one about the trees would be awesome, unless
The
you
one
want to
about
read
the
a different one
trees, and
first.
then the daughter's response, and then you can see. I mean, this is me, the very beginning stages of editing it and figuring out how it all works together, and you will see if it makes sense. Then you can give me some feedback.
Okay.
So it is the title of this one is called "The Man Who Talked to Trees." It's an interesting role, spoke the director. Not large, but unusual. I thought of you when I first read it. Would you like to have a look at it? Albert read the script and was interested. It was the part of an eccentric who talked to trees. After a few days of rehearsal, Albert was having difficulty. The tree on stage was quite lifelike, but he couldn't stop himself from looking through the crack in the bark and seeing styrofoam. He became self conscious. The play wouldn't work with a self conscious tree talker. The director was beginning to think of other people in the company. He would rehearse one more day with Albert. If it didn't happen, he'd find a replacement. That night, after hours of bed tossing, Albert finally got to sleep. In a dream, Anna came to him and took him on a walk through Pettigrew Woods. When they came to the center, they found a large maple tree. It stood apart from the others and had taken its own shape. Anna turned to Albert. Do you remember this tree? She asked. He looked at it and suddenly remembered the day as a child he'd played house with Lillian Ashton. He remembered looking at the tree and seeing it for a moment as part of himself. It was alone and yet a part of everything. The tree had given him a feeling of independence and strength. Spontaneously, he touched the bark of the tree and said, "Thank you. Now you'll be able to talk to trees," spoke Anna, and she left the dream. The next day, with the replacement at the back of his mind, the director watched Albert. A miraculous thing had happened. He'd come alive. The director smiled with relief and told him he'd be wonderful. During the run of the play, when there wasn't a matinee, Albert would walk through Independence Park. From time to time, he would stop and say a word or two to a particular tree. There were people there who would titter at Albert's strange behavior, but there was one, Shepherd Ainsley, a truth seeker, who seemed to know what Albert was all about. A nature mystic, he concluded. Though he was encouraged by Albert's example, he would never go beyond the boundaries of observation. Albert was a long way from becoming a nature mystic. He was still a creative actor, living the part he was playing. When the play closed, he stopped talking to trees. Soon he was into another part. It would be quite a few years before he'd strike up another conversation with a tree. And this is my response. The man who talked to tree, such an unusual role. I wonder if that's how life felt for you, as if you were stepping into parts that asked something strangely beyond your reach. You couldn't believe the tree, the illusion behind it. It was the belief you were struggling with. To speak to something as if it were alive, you have to let go of so much control and certainty. Then the dream came. It wasn't through force, but through your surrender. Anna took you back. She took you back to the woods, back to a memory, to something untouched and pure. The tree was alone, and yet it was part of everything. This is what we all are, standing in our own form, yet somehow belonging to something we don't quite recall. You remembered being a child, and in remembering, something began to open up inside of you. You saw yourself in the tree, a familiar recognition. Maybe for a moment, you let go of the resistance to being connected to everything. Thank you. Those words felt like an opening, not to the tree, but to divine presence. You'll be able to talk to trees. Quiet yourself and hear. The next day, nothing on that stage changed but you. You walked through the park, speaking softly to trees. People laughed, which doesn't surprise me. We're taught to make fun of things that we don't understand. Someone saw you, though, as a nature mystic, a seeker. And I love that, Dad, because I'm a seeker too. As the play ended, so did your conversations with trees. Was it just a role or was it real? Maybe the question isn't whether you talk to trees, but what they spoke back to you in the quiet moments. What if connection isn't something we have to force, but something we have the courage to remember? What if separation is just an illusion?
Yeah. Beautiful. I have tears.
Aww. So I have so many of these. He's written so many, and there's always the dream, and the answers come in the dream.
Okay.
And so we're piecing it together.
Neat. And you're doing it, or your siblings helping, or?
No, I'm the one doing the daughter response. I'd love that. I would have loved to have had my sibs doing it as well, because I think it would be interesting, an interesting perspective to see other people's ideas. because they would have a very different perspective of his writing. I'm very similar,
Hmm.
so it would have been I thought more interesting, but that didn't happen. So that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah. Well, and it takes, as another person who talks to trees, uh,
Yes.
it it takes kind of the same mindset as I was talking about, of deciding you're just going to play, or deciding you're just going to let your
Mhm.
mind go. It's like forgetting what the world is around you, or what you think the world is, and tapping into the real living world
Right.
within you, within us, right, that we're all part of. So
Yeah.
you're seeing, to see, not beyond necessarily, but see between the things that your eyes sees,
Mhm.
and listen to what's being said that your ears aren't hearing.
Right.
it's
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 interesting. This is something that happened to me a long time ago, and it was to do with drawing. And I was out walking because that's another thing that was beautiful on my healing journey, as I know with you, um, being out in nature, just soaking in the energy of the trees and the flowers, and really feeling that we are one. So I remember walking down a path one day and I saw this beautiful flower hanging over a fence, and I was like mesmerized by this flower, and I was staring at it. And as I was staring at it, I literally could feel the energy on it, and it felt like it went inside. That's all I could say. And there was this young tough guy walking by, and he was like, he had a smoke, and I said, come and look at this flower. And we're both bent over this flower. It was such a sweet, tender moment, and he was going, that's amazing. And then went home, and I just felt, oh, I need to go and buy some markers. And I went to the local store, and it was like the spirit was choosing the markers. Like I picked one up and I'd get confirmation. I'd get no, yes, no, no, yeah. And so I got these, and I went home and I did this whole drawing. And it was basically that these flowers and trees all have a story to tell us and why they're here. And it was like I drew this out. I mean, it looked nothing like the flower, but it was my interpretation, and it was um and I literally, it was like as soon as I finished, the story just like flooded out, which was basically coming back to being a child again and allowing the spirit to lead you. And it was like, okay, now that you got the message from the flower, now you go and pick the flower. It's yours. So it's like, okay, because I stopped long enough. Like we had the opportunity to stop long enough to actually receive the message. And it was like, oh, it was such an incredible experience. And I was like, this the flower was the passion flower. I remember that.
Oh,
And it was like, oh,
and those are so unique.
oh, so unique. And the following week, my husband's daughter brought over a plant for us, like to plant in the garden. And it
Oh,
was the
nice.
passion flower. And I was like, oh,
Oh, they're
I
one of my
didn't keep it. I
favorite.
didn't keep it alive too long, but because yeah, I don't have the best green thumb, but it was so beautiful, and it was just the timing was divine.
Well, and yes, it definitely sounds like the timing was divine. But I was also going to say, um, it may not have been your fault. There's, from what I've learned, or what I've seen, what I've been looking at passion flowers, most of them, like I'm in the grow zone number 5,
Okay.
and that's the highest, or the coldest, that I've seen passion flowers be able to survive.
Yes.
So you're probably, I don't know what grow zone
I
you're
don't
in,
think
but
we're that much further. north than you. I think we are a 5.
You're
Anyways,
quite a bit further north, but you might have the where you're at, your general location and stuff might have the same grow zone, because the grow
it might.
zones just don't go
Well, and
straight
because in
across. So,
Ontario we dip down because of the lake that we're,
yes,
so
yeah,
I'm not 100% sure what zone we're in, but I didn't do well with it. And that
right.
might have been the reason why.
Well, and there's different, some passion flowers need like a zone 8. So there's
Okay.
different
Yeah.
types of different varieties of them. So
So
I
gorgeous
would
and
say
intricate.
find one. I can send you one of mine here
There you go.
if you want to try.
Do
I
you
did.
have passion flowers?
Yes,
Nice.
I grow them. They're so wonderful. My husband built me an arbor, and they just
Oh,
climb up,
beautiful.
and oh, it's just gorgeous by end of summer. It's just does my heart
Hmm.
good, right? To
Nice.
look at them.
Beautiful.
And but next spring, if I remember or you remember me, when they first start coming up, um, I could
Dig
I
it up and
could
send me one
dig
in the
one
mail.
and send you one. Yeah, I did that to a friend in Long Island. She's an
Okay.
herbalist, and she didn't have those either. And so I dug up and planted, and she said it did fine there.
Okay.
So
Beautiful. Nice. Yeah, they're beautiful. And they must have been okay because they were at the, they were around the corner. So I think I'm okay. Like the zone is probably all right.
good,
Perhaps it was just the location, but
maybe so. Yeah. Or
yeah,
one year that got too cold or something,
that can
too
that can
hot.
do it,
Yeah.
right?
It
Absolutely.
can. It can. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for reading that about trees. It's just trees are just so wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Every chance I get, like every time I'm with my granddaughter, I try to get her to put her hands on the tree and
Right?
talk to the tree.
Yes.
Sometimes she has, but like she's almost 5, and so she's starting to get to the place where thinking maybe about what others are thinking, right? I don't know.
Uh,
Or maybe she was just too busy, but she
or she'll come
refused.
back to it.
I think so. She refused, but it's like, well, I'm putting it in her. She'll bring that forth again at some point in her life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
Hmm.
anyway,
That's
well, very
beautiful.
good.
Hmm.
So for doodling, there you talked about your markers and things, and you talked about watercolor earlier. Um, are what other types of what would you call them, modalities that you use for your doodling?
The doodling is, I mean, you can do anything. It's just having fun. Like I've had pencil crayons. I really love markers. And it's interesting because for some reason I like to doodle on, and it wouldn't be something necessarily I'd recommend, but on watercolor paper.
Hmm.
And I love with the watercolor paper using just a Sharpie, just a plain
Oh,
Sharpie,
okay.
and then adding color to it. And I have just a variety of different kinds of markers that I love to use.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Oh, very
Absolutely.
nice. Very
But,
nice.
but another thing is pencil crayons, right?
I haven't used those. I
Hmm.
guess I'll have to.
It's a, I mean, the colors are just spectacular. So
Hmm.
yes, absolutely. And then on Thursdays at my place where I live, I do my Be Still sessions. I try to
Hmm.
just keep it in the Thursdays from home. So my Be Still sessions are a combination of, well, I've been a reflexologist for decades. So, and what I've done is I've married that with Reiki healing, and I call them my Be Still sessions. So it's just a
Okay.
chance to really drop into your heart and to be still. And I think that entering rest is a beautiful place to free yourself from the monkey mind. So that's what I have a small studio in my home, and clients come. Thursday's my day for that, and I'm looking to open that up. I have had clients online, which that's what I would love to be able to do, is to actually do it online as well. just walking through, setting intentions, and then doing energy work from my place, and sending it out to whoever needs it.
Mm-hmm.
And I found for me that people knowing their North Node in astrology has been a game changer in my own life personally, and that's something I like to do with my clients, is to show them where their North Node is. And my mentor would say it's the shortest way to enlightenment in this lifetime is to follow that North Node.
Oh, really?
So, yes, and I found that to be extremely helpful with people. And that's one of the things that, and the North Node never feels comfortable. The South Node feels more comfortable and more familiar. It's like you're really pushing yourself. But in everybody's birth chart, there is a North Node. And I think that that's one of the things that's super important to grab a hold of, and on that journey of self-discovery.
So your North Node can be in any of your houses,
Yes,
right? Your astrology
houses,
houses.
and it will be in houses and signs. So, and it's just, yeah. So that's been a game changer in my own life, and it is very uncomfortable. My North Node is in Leo, and they'll always say, like, do you is there somebody who has that North Node that you feel uncomfortable with? And I definitely would have had that in my life. And it's like that getting up and singing, which the version of me 10 years ago would have been like, no. But when I actually look at my North Node, I'm supposed to do that and express myself like that. So the more I do that, the more things open up.
Now, how did you know you were supposed to, by looking at your North Node? How does that tell you?
The North Node, they have very specific things that are attached to them. So like a Leo would be being a creative leader, expressing yourself. Every single sign has a different direction that
Okay,
you're to
whichever
take,
one it is.
whatever it is. So,
and it's usually something that's difficult for you to do, or not comfortable.
It's not comfortable. But it's like, so it's kind of that wiggle, that place of like breaking out and wiggling out of it and being, no, I'd rather just stay home and do things that are familiar.
Yes.
I'd
Yeah.
rather head to the woods and that I'm really good with. So it's being stretched.
Okay.
Yes.
I know you study astrology too, or have. There's supposed to be really, really big energies this week, and later in July is around the 20th or 21st or things like that, isn't it? When there's a big change happening in the stars or something.
A lot happening this month.
Could you tell us about them a little bit?
I'm not that familiar. Like I am such a rookie in that, but definitely July is a beautiful month as far as energy shifting. Like we've just had one of the signs, Jupiter, go into Leo. So that's a very good way. Jupiter is, anything it touches expands. And going into Leo would be a very like outward energy, like, time to make plans to get out. It's just an energy that supports that, wanting to step out and great for business and things like that. But I'm such a rookie. Like there's just so many layers and layers of things to learn. It's incredible.
Oh, I agree. I don't even study it. I don't feel called that way, but I'm very interested in knowing the energies of each week, so that it helps me.
Absolutely.
flow through the week instead
You're
of.
and then you're not, and also you know what, when to push through resistance and when to just settle in and go, no, it's okay. This is a, I can be quiet today. I can.
Yes. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's helpful. In fact, yesterday I thought I'd read that it was one day this week when those stars were changing or whatever, that it was something about like there would be a day for big ideas or,
Mhm.
things like that. And it was like it
And
this morning.
did that happen?
Oh, for both my husband and I, first thing this morning, he was sleeping in a little bit, and I was petting the dogs before I put him outside for the day, and it was like we talked about how we were going to remodel our back entry hall and stuff,
Mhm.
and for storage and coat closet and stuff, and the way we were going to do it would take $1,000 and a lot of time and use some other space that could be left the way it is anyway. And all of a sudden it was like this was in my mind. Oh,
Uh-huh.
this and this, and
Right.
we could do it for
Nice.
pennies, right? Not well,
Nice.
$100 or something like that, right? The cost of a door, which we needed anyway. And
Nice.
so it's like, wow. And then he gets up, and it was like he had this big huge idea of a health thing that he was had been thinking about, and was, wow, if I do this, it'll shift this and this and this. And it was like, then it reminded me, oh, that was supposed to happen this week.
Oh, isn't that great?
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty awesome, I
So,
thought.
so there it is. I wonder if it's just being aware. I guess the awareness is the key, right? As those things are coming in, just to be
Mhm.
aware and be open to expansion and open to receiving.
Yeah, and maybe it starts with, like I was saying, those five energies of the universe, but wonder, right?
Yeah.
It's like wondering, curiosity. It's like, well,
Yes.
how, not necessarily how, but what would happen if, or how else can we do, just kind of
Right.
not using your mind to think of those things, but
Mhm.
using your heart to ask those questions and
Mhm.
listening, right? And just like you
Mhm.
said, then awareness then of what you're aware of after you ask.
Nice. Nice.
Very cool.
Solutions. That's great. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, so cool. So anyway,
Mhm.
so lovely, lovely. Kate, is there anything you want to, um, I guess, advice? If you could give advice or something to tell people that would be helpful in for whatever phase of life or whatever, what first comes to your mind that you would like to share?
I think that what, and it's probably going to go back to what I started with, which was this idea that when you hold tight to your story or other people's stories or judgment or anything, it's like you're fisting and you're um, restricting the spirit from flowing through and seeing your story from a higher perspective, a different perspective. And I think it's that loosening the grip and softening your gaze on your story and allowing the spirit to flow through and seeing it as a beautiful and sacred thing. Even the bits that are so ugly have immense value and worth. And I think that's the most important thing. Like, I'm a girl that has fallen so many times and would be so discounted. And um, and choosing to rise up and seeing it as this journey that I agreed to. And if I can remember, then I always say this, if I can remember, then anyone can remember. And it's just that idea of really remembering your piece of divine essence that we all are. And that's, for me, that's part of that journey. Tripping, falling, and getting up, and really seeing the beauty in the tripping and the falling and
I,
mhm.
I think that's when healing, um, I mean, healing is a process, of course, but in getting to the place where you can feel gratitude for those rough times.
Right?
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
then it really takes hold in your life.
Oh my goodness. Yes. And I've been through things like I'm like, wow. Hmm. I can share another story. This is vulnerable. It's okay. And to say that means it's not. So but something that happened to me, I had a dear friend. She passed away last year. And but in April of last year, she did a numerology reading with me. And um she said something happened to you when you were 23. And um, she said it came as a teacher. And I was like, oh, I knew exactly what happened at 23. And I had never seen it through a higher perspective. I always saw it through shame and through blame. And I was in a near fatal car crash, and I'd been drinking. And I was never expected to make the night. I was broke my back, I perforated my bowels, I fractured my skull, and I was
Oh,
taken to the trauma
wow.
unit. And I can remember the doctor saying like I could hear them. And she said, it came as a teacher. Now, you would never think that that would come as a teacher. And I
Wow.
was like, she said, what was the lesson? And I said, what I learned from that was there is a power inside of me. And if it's inside of me, it's inside of everyone who is listening that says it's not over till it's over. And that power just rose up. And I had never seen it. I had covered that in so much shame and was told, like, left the hospital with my parents. Bless them. It was just, you never talk about this. This is so shameful. And even stories like that, when I loosen, when I soften and I go, oh, like it's a miracle. And thank goodness I hurt nobody but myself. But it's like there is beauty in the ugliness. And that's one of the things that I learned. And I love to share that with people. Like, I thought I would never share that. It's like, oh, that's so shameful and you're horrible. And it's part of my journey. And as I soften, as I loosen, I see the beautiful gift in that situation. And I no longer hold myself as the judge to whether it was good or bad or
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
mm-hmm,
Oh, that was beautiful, Kate.
mm-hmm. Thank you.
So, why don't we go ahead and close for now? And could you, is your Facebook, is it just Kate Culver? If someone wanted to follow you there and go to your
Yes,
page,
it is. And you can put a link underneath.
I'll
So
do
we
that.
have all of those. So yes, and my Instagram, we're going to have music again. We're trying to do it every 2 weeks, and it's amazing how quickly 2 weeks go by. I'm like, didn't we just do this? But I'm
Yeah.
singing every day. Like every day I spend time in my music because the message on the music is something that I know I have to embody, the truths that I've been given on those through the songs. And so if people want to come and listen, I would love that. And if anyone wants to have a Be Still session, I am totally open and available.
All right. Very good.
And have hope for those kids or people that you think are hopeless. I think that's a message that I would bring.
Yeah. Very good. Well, thank you, Kate, for joining me and for
Thank you for having me.
a great conversation. And
Mm,
thank you, everyone, for watching. And please, I'll leave the links below for Kate, and check out her connections there on social media. So, and if you haven't already, please give the video a thumbs up to help other people find it. And um, I also am available for one-on-one sessions for biofield tuning and feng shui. So if anyone's
beautiful.
interested, those are, just know that those are available. There's always um, things around that can help you get through your own tough times and point your way toward releasing what needs to come up, and healing, and following your own dreams. So, all right.
Absolutely.
Bye
Thank
bye,
you.
everyone. Thank you.
Bye bye.